Sounds are scary, whether we hear it in a horror movie looking to emphasize a scene, or when you're home alone and you hear a sound downstairs. Sounds can be truly terrifying, and it only gets worse when you can't even explain what you're hearing. This has happened multiple times throughout history, and I did some digging to collect the most popular ones. I'm your host Andrew, and here are your top 10 scary audio recordings that can't be explained. Let's get right into it. Number 10, Upsweep. Just imagine going into the ocean, diving down, and hearing this. This sound is called upsweep, and as you can hear, it is truly terrifying. It was first detected by the American National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, in 1991. The sound is characterized by a series of high-pitched upward sweeping sounds that last for several seconds each, and you can't help but think, it almost sounds human. Despite being of unknown origin, the sound is loud enough to be detected across the Pacific Ocean. This sound is not only mysterious, but also intriguing, as it appears to be seasonal, generally reaching peaks in spring and autumn. However, it is unclear whether this is due to changes in the source or seasonal changes in the propagation environment. Number 9, the bloop. Imagine being out at sea, the water is calm, and the only sound you hear is the gentle lapping of waves against the side of your boat. Suddenly, out of nowhere, you hear an eerie low frequency sound that seems to be coming from deep beneath the surface. This is exactly what happened in 1997 when the NOAA detected a mysterious sound underwater known as the bloop. This is somewhat what it sounded like. When the sound was first detected, many people speculated that it was emitted by an enormous undiscovered marine mammal. The sound was so powerful it was thought to have come from an animal larger than the blue whale, the largest known species of animal. But in 2012, the NOAA determined that the sound was likely caused by ice calving or an ice quake, although this hasn't been proven completely. Some experts argue that the patterns in the variations within the sound indicate an animal origin. They point out that not all animals make the same amount of noise for their size, and that an animal making the bloop noise might be significantly smaller than we think. For example, pistol shrimp, which are only a few centimeters long, can make sounds as loud as a jet engine. Despite NOAA's explanation, the bloop remains a mystery and continues to intrigue scientists and ocean enthusiasts alike. The idea of a massive undiscovered marine animal lurking deep beneath the surface is a tantalizing one, and the fact that we may never know the true origin of the bloop only adds to its terrifying mystery. Number 8, Julia. Just like the bloop, there was another sound in the ocean that could prove the existence of massive sea creatures. Meet Julia, which was an eerie sound that was recorded on March 1st, 1999 by the NOAA. At the time, NOAA claimed that the sound was likely caused by a large iceberg that had run aground. But as with many things in the deep ocean, the truth behind Julia's origin still remains a mystery. Some people believe it to be the work of a massive undiscovered creature. Others think it could be a demonic figure lurking in an uncharted depth. The sound was loud enough to be heard over a distance of 3,000 miles, lasting for a spine-tingling 15 seconds. But some say they heard it for up to 2 minutes. And to add to its intrigue, NASA's Apollo 33A5 mission allegedly captured a picture of a massive shadow in the ocean, leading to speculation that the sound could have been caused by something even bigger than an iceberg. But as we know, as with many things on the internet, the truth behind Julia's origin is often distorted and exaggerated. The supposed NASA photo was revealed to be a hoax, and NOAA's explanation of a runaway iceberg remains the most likely scenario, but it is still not really confirmed. The question still lingers. What other secrets does the ocean hold? With only 5% of the ocean explored to date, the possibilities are endless. Number 7, the Forest Grove Shriek. In February 2016, a mysterious and unexplained noise was heard intermittently at night in Forest Grove, Oregon. The noise, described as a mechanical scream, had residents and authorities scratching their heads as they tried to determine its source. The Department of Forestry ruled out any equipment they had as being the cause of the sound. And this is what one resident posted about this incident.
It's hard to identify what angle it's coming from because it just kind of encompasses the area.
The Washington Post described the noise as sounding like a giant flute played off pitch, car brakes, or even a steam whistle. NBC News described it as akin to a bad one-note violin solo broadcast over a microphone with non-stop feedback. The sound reportedly lasted from 10 seconds to several minutes at a time. Then throughout February 2016, approximately 200 calls were made to the Forest Grove Police Department as residents attempted to explain the sound. Captain Mike Herb stated that most of the calls suggested explanations ranging from frogs to aliens all the way to Bigfoot. The Forest Grove Police Department announced via Facebook that the noise did not pose a safety hazard and halted their investigation until further information appeared. However, after February 2016, the noise was not heard from again. Andrew Dawes, a professor of physics at Pacific University, attempted to map the locations where the noise had been heard, but the results were inconclusive and did not suggest any single location. So today, this still remains a mystery. Number 6, the hum. The hum was a mysterious low-level drone heard by people around the world. Glenn McPherson, a school teacher in Canada, first heard the hum in 2012 and was surprised to find out he was not alone in his experience. It sounded something like this. He then created the World Hum Map and database to track reports from people all around the world who say they too hear the hum. So far, McPherson has heard from thousands of people from locations as far as Iceland, New Zealand, Kazakhstan, and the Philippines. The data is skewed, however, as the site only reaches English speakers. He plans to translate the site into Chinese, which means he could get a flood of new data from the world's most populous country. As well, the hum may be a relatively recent phenomenon, with a significant number of reports first emerging in the late 60s and early 70s. There are 3 major theories as to what is causing the hum. The main suspect is very low frequency VLF radio emissions that are used by the military to communicate with submarines. Another theory is that the world hum is nothing more than the grand accumulation of human activity. This includes noise from highways, marine traffic, mining, windmill farms, hydroelectric dams, and other forms of industry. A third theory is that the noise stems from geological processes at work. Despite the various theories all around the world, the hum still remains a mystery and no one really knows what is causing it. In the hump of our list, we have the UVB-76. Imagine tuning into your radio station only to hear a never-ending loop of a mysterious buzzing sound followed by foghorn-like blasts, women's screams, and eerie whistling. This is the reality for those who have stumbled upon the buzzer, which sounded a little something like this. The buzzer is a shortwave radio transmission that had been broadcasting for the last 30 years, 24/7. It comes from deep within the former Soviet Union. But what is the purpose of this eerie transmission? That's a question that has been plaguing radio enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists for decades. The buzzer is a prime example of a number station, which is a term used to describe mysterious shortwave radio broadcasts that are believed to be used for clandestine purposes by shady organizations. These broadcasts often feature blocks of music, numbers, and poetry, and are thought to be directed at operatives placed all over the world. The buzzer in particular has been broadcasting on the 4625 kHz frequency since at least 1973. Initially, it broadcast a 2-second loop of 2 beeping sounds. However, since 1990, it has been emitting a buzzing tone that lasts about 1.2 seconds, followed by a foghorn-like blast, repeating itself 21 to 34 times per minute. On occasion, the buzzer also transmits live spoken messages in Russian, following a predetermined format known as monolith messages. The origin and the purpose of the buzzer are still a mystery, but theories abound. Some speculate that it is a test for military readiness, while others believe it may be connected to a dead hand switch, which was a Cold War era mechanism that would ensure a retaliatory nuclear strike, even if key officials were unable to give the order. So the next time you tune into a shortwave radio station, be prepared to be transported to a world of mystery and intrigue where the only thing that is certain is the never-ending buzzing sound. Number 4, the whistle. This is an unexplained sound known as the whistle. whistle is a mysterious sound that was first detected by the NOAA hydrophone in 1997. The origin of the sound is unknown and its location still remains a mystery, with the only information available being that it is somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. And I know, that's a pretty large place. According to NOAA, the sound is similar to those caused by volcanic activity that has been recorded in the Mariana region of the Pacific. However, since it was only picked up by one hydrophone rather than the 3 that are needed to triangulate its location, it is still considered unidentified and people still think it is a large massive sea creature that is lurking in the depths. Number 3, the wow signal. On August 15, 1977, the Ohio State University's Big Ear radio telescope detected a strong narrowband radio signal that appeared to come from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius. The signal, which was dubbed the wow signal, was thought to be of extraterrestrial origin because it had the expected characteristics of an extraterrestrial radio transmission. The signal was not detected again despite subsequent attempts, making it the strongest candidate for extraterrestrial radio transmission ever detected. Scientists believe that any alien civilization attempting to communicate via radio signals might do so using a frequency of 1420 megahertz, which is naturally emitted by hydrogen, the most common element in the universe. The wow signal was unmodulated and appeared to be a continuous wave, but any modulation with a period of less than 10 seconds or longer than 72 seconds would not have been detectable. The signal's intensity was measured as a signal to noise ratio, with the noise being the baseline intensity averaged over the previous few minutes. The signal's intensity was 30 standard deviations above the background noise. While the wow signal remains a mystery, it continues to captivate and inspire people interested in the search for extraterrestrial life and intelligence. Number 2, the Havana Syndrome. In December 2016, several CIA officers reported experiencing symptoms such as nausea, headache, and dizziness after hearing strange sounds in their homes or hotel rooms in Havana, Cuba. The sounds went a little something like this. This would be later known as the Havana Syndrome. The symptoms which also affected Americans and Canadians living in the city included vertigo, hearing loss, nosebleeds, and difficulty focusing. Medical experts were unable to determine the cause of the illnesses, and a number of theories were proposed, including the possibility of a new type of weapon or even the use of ultrasounds as a mean of covert eavesdropping. On another end, some scientists even suggested that recordings of strange noises contain the sounds of male crickets. The cause of the illnesses still remains a mystery, but the incident has had serious consequences, including the evacuation of 60% of American diplomats from Cuba and the expulsion of 15 Cuban diplomats from Washington, D.C. The illness has had a significant impact on affected diplomats, with some experiencing lasting health problems and others experiencing a decrease in cognitive abilities. The US has expelled Cuban diplomats in response to the illness and has reduced its diplomatic presence in Cuba ever since. Number 1, the Colossi of Memnon. The Colossi of Memnon are 2 ancient statues located in Luxor, Egypt that have a very strange phenomenon. Originally built in the 14th century BC as a mortuary temple for the Egyptian ruler Amenhotep III, the Colossi has been a source of fascination for people for centuries. One of the most intriguing aspects of the statue is that there was a time when the statue would make a high-pitched sound at dawn. This phenomenon was attributed to the mourning of Memnon's father, Eos, the goddess of dawn. According to Greek and Roman myths, Eos shed tears or dewdrops every morning in lament for her son's death. The Colossi of Memnon were so named because of this supposed singing and attracted many tourists interested in hearing Eos's wails. However, the truth behind the singing of the statue is more scientific than mystical. The singing only occurred after an earthquake destroyed part of one of the statues in 27 BC, and there was no sound before that. Take out the since then. Scientists and researchers believe that the cause of the sound was due to a rise in heat and humidity playing off of one large cracked stone. The evidence for this theory is that when Roman Emperor Septimius Severus repaired the earthquake damage in the 1st or 2nd century, then the sound just disappeared. In conclusion, the statue is an ancient monument that has captured the imagination of people for centuries. Though it is not singing anymore, it was singing in the past, and the reason behind it was the unique natural phenomenon. Well, these are the top 10 scary audio recordings that can't be explained. What did you guys think about this video? Leave a comment down below with your thoughts, but don't forget to like and subscribe to this video for more content. I'm your host Andrew, and I hope you guys have a scary day.